things slip through the cracks. It's as a leader, how do you deal with those bad actors? Determine the type of government you're running or organization you're running. The green belt and any other things that we haven't caught yet. These are just the little things, and the little things that we're catching is unbelievable. $16,000 over 3 years for hotels? Hey everybody, and welcome back. Before I get into what I want to talk about, can we all agree, and I think we're all in agreement, on misappropriate misuse of taxpayer funds nobody likes? Left, right, center, everybody hates it. They hate it when their guy does it. They hate it when the other side does it. Everybody hates it because at the end of the day, it's our hard-earned money that's taxed, used to help fund the government for us, the taxpayers, not for the politicians to use like a piggy bank, like if you owned your own business. And this is one of the reasons why people hate politicians making deals with corporations and then getting a kickback somehow, not like a physical white envelope, but who knows if they actually do, but also side deals that benefit them and not us, the voters / taxpayers. But what infuriates us even more is when you take, or the politicians take, the tax money and use it for personal, like it's their business. I mean, like they own a business and use it as write-offs for perks, fancy dinners, trips, as what we're going to discuss, hotels. So an MPP of Ford government, Minister of Tourism, Stan Cho, has racked up over $16,000 in the last 3 years of expenses. And the story goes is that he basically had to stay in hotels. And there's the ability to do, like, they basically say, like, if you live beyond 50 kilometers from Queen's Park, you get a budget for, like, housing, so you don't have to go back and forth. You have a place to stay, especially when there's a lot of business to have to deal with for the government, and then you can go back to your constituents and deal with your constituents. But anything less than 50 kilometers, you're on your own, except for emergencies. And they talk about emergencies like a snowstorm. Even the snowstorm emergency excuse is far-fetched, okay? Especially in a city that has mass transits, that Doug Ford always boasts has great mass transit, and he wants people in Toronto to use it. This guy, this minister, Stan, lives 5 kilometers from Queen's Park. Not only 5 kilometers from Queen's Park, he has his own personal driver and car covered by the taxpayers, which I don't even understand how they have a car and a driver for 5 kilometers. Anyways, that's what we're going to talk about. That's a different issue. But $16,000 for emergencies of less than 5 kilometers, that's insane. That's insane. Everybody knows this is insane. And he's been doing it for 3 years. In 2023 to 2024, he expensed $1,400. 24 to 25 was just over $3,000. From 25 to 26, which we're still haven't finished, was $11,691. It's like every year he kept expensing more and more. It's almost like, oh, I'm getting away with it, so let me push the envelope. It's not like it was a little bit here, a little bit there. It was the same amount every year. It kept getting worse every year. This is why people hate politicians. They can't trust them. So he's going to be paying it back. Originally, he was going to say, well, anything, you guys take a look at it. If there's anything fraudulent, I'll pay it back. But before anybody could take a look at it, he says, no, what? Forget it. No. I'm going to pay it all back. Means it was all fraudulent. And not even that. If they actually probably looked more into it, there's probably a lot more information on why he was expensing it. And there's a lot more other funny business going on that both him and the Ford government don't want you guys to know or us to know. And the response from Premier Doug Ford is even more infuriating. Okay, this is the guy who complained about how the Liberal government, the previous governments, was notorious for things like this, that he was the man of the people, that this was not going to be their purse, that they were going to respect taxpayer money. This is not the only issue. Like, there's a lot of scandals between this, the Freedom of Information Act that he's restricted because he doesn't want us to find out any other issues, his phone numbers or his telephone and the phone numbers and who he's talking to, the green belt and any other things that we haven't caught yet. These are just the little things, and the little things that we're catching is unbelievable. $16,000 over 3 years for hotels? And there's no repercussions for this guy as of right now. Let's say Doug Ford was true to his words, which it's not, because we're going to get to his response when he's questioned about it. If he was really concerned about, people misusing taxpayer money, he would have said, listen, this slipped through the cracks. I don't stand for this. He's lost his position. He's no longer a Minister of Tourism. He's lost his driver, his car. He's no longer able to expense anything. Not only that, come next election, we're replacing him because we don't stand for this. And we're going to see what he had to respond. That would have been a fantastic response, and the opposition would have had nothing to say about it, because even with any organization, in the government, in private, public, whatever it is, there are bad actors, okay? Things slip through the cracks. It's, as a leader, how do you deal with those bad actors? Determine the type of government you're running or organization you're running. Let's take a look at what he has to say.
Explain what's going on with these accommodations. How is any of this acceptable?
Well, again, they're paying back the money. What I'm focused right now on the wildfires, making sure we keep our province safe.
This must have angered you, though, because this is what you said would not happen in 2018.
Well, again, they're paying the money back. It was a third party. All three parties agreed to it. We had late sittings. No excuse. They're paying it back, everyone. But thanks, Colin.
But are they paying back every cent? Because your office, sorry, Julia, well, your office said that they would pay back what wasn't in the intent of the rules.
Well, if we were sitting, that's one thing. But anything else, they're paying back. I have zero tolerance for that.
But you said the party with the taxpayer dollar was over. You said the party with the taxpayer dollar was over, right? Isn't this the party with the taxpayer dollar?
Colin, the party with the taxpayers' dollars are over. Believe me. Nothing compared to previous governments. But thank you.
But then how do you justify your cabinet minister spending $11,000 when he lives 6 kilometers away?
And that's the reason he's paying it back. Thank you.
Is he going to stay in your cabinet? What does that say to people if he stays in your cabinet?
Thanks, Colin. I appreciate it.
Is he going to stay in your cabinet? No answer. Means he is. Okay? What about, who cares? It was a late sitting. That's fine. All the parties agreed to expense, whatever his reasoning is. So what? $16,000. And every year since 2023, it got worse. So this is an ongoing problem. You don't have internal audits. You're not making sure, especially on something you campaigned on, to make sure you're not misusing taxpayer money. You're not making sure all your members are abiding by those promises. You don't have internal audits. That means you agreed to it and you were okay with it. Because, again, your response, he doesn't represent the party anymore. What he did was wrong. Not only is he going to be paying that back, he's no longer the Minister of Tourism, and he's no longer going to be representing us in the next election. Boom, done. That's how you respond to it. Your response says, he got caught, he's paying back, it's okay because the previous government did worse. So what? You're still guilty. This is why people hate politicians. This is why nothing gets done. Because you guys are both crooks. Everybody, every party is a crook. And every time they say we're better, you need to prove it. If you aren't doing what you're saying, your words are meaningless and worthless. Anybody can come and say I'm better. It's like any relationship, okay? Your partner comes saying, I love you, but I go and cheat on you, but then come back and say I'm sorry. They were liars. Your actions, it's your actions, not your words, determine the type of person you are or the type of party you represent. No excuses at all for this. And I'm more worried about the fires and keeping Ontario safe. How's that going? The air quality in Toronto's was yellow. It looked like a movie, futuristic movie. What are you doing for those fires and safety? How are you making Ontario safe? Except for blaming everything on the federal government. We're still behind on jails, judges, everything else. Police, you can say, depending on where you are. But it's okay. You're building your trains. You're building your little spa on the Ontario Place, your new Ontario Science Center, the Billy Bishop Airport you're taking over for your business pals, so you guys can probably expense more there. He's done. He's over. That's it. Time for change. Because everything he said over the last 8 to 10 years is meaningless because his actions speak louder than words. And guys, remember, again, this is what we've just uncovered. And he's made it worse to try to find out other things because of the Freedom of Information Act. He's restricted on the premise of keeping voter information or voter concerns from reaching the public or whatever. I don't know what excuse he is. It's just so insane. Just remember, he's losing to a party, the Liberal Party, or he's tied with the Liberal Party that doesn't even have a physical leader. Well, technically doesn't have a leader. They have an interim leader right now. That's his popularity. So he's on his way out. That's why he doesn't want to address this, because he's not good for Ontario. Anyways, guys, that's it for me. Let me know, like, your frustrations on your government and what you would like to see changed. Like, just being honest. Just like, to me, I'll tell you my thing is I just want accountability. I would not be so critical on Doug Ford's if he just did exactly what he was supposed to do and punish this minister. Took his anything away, like his driver, his car, took his position away and made sure he was not able to run in the next election. That alone is worth its weight in gold. And that people can actually get behind. But let me know what you think. Anyways, guys, take care. We'll talk later.